So coming in at number 8 is going to be the 2011 version of Howie Kendrick when he played for the Angels. In 2011, Howie Kendrick had 18 home runs, 86 runs scored, 63 RBIs, 285 average, 338 on base, 464 slugging. He also played really good defense that year and had an overall WAR of 5.3. So he would come in at a 90 overall. His contact is going to be pretty solid, particularly against lefties, and he's going to have even a little power against lefties. Power versus righties is going to be 51. Power versus lefties is going to be 59. Plate vision and discipline, not the greatest. He did strike out a lot, and he did not walk all that much. Fielding will be really good, though, for a second baseman. So, overall, a solid card. Not a card you're going to, get a lot of home runs with, but overall, a solid option at second base. And hopefully we see this for MLB 16 The Show. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the 2010 Flashback Prime Rickie Weeks, and he'd come in at a 91 overall. In 2011, Rickie Weeks had a 269 average, a 350 on base, a 468 slugging. He also had 29 home runs for that year. He also had 11 stolen bases. So taking a look at his attributes, obviously he's going to hit better against left-handed pitching. He absolutely crushed him, and that's where he got most of his power at. Although his power versus right-handed pitching is not bad at all, especially for a second baseman being at 60. Fielding, he's about average. He has a good arm and he has pretty good range, but he will miss, or he will mess up on the routine plays. And his speed and base running is again pretty solid. He's able to steal a base here and there, but nothing too crazy. And I think this would be an awesome option, especially as a platoon player in MLB 16 The Show. Coming in at number 6 on our list is the 2012 Flashback Prime Robinson Cano. In 2012, Robinson Cano had his best year, arguably, posting a 7.6 WAR with a 313 average, 379 on base, 550 slugging. Overall, he had 33 home runs, scored 105 runs and 94 RBIs. He also played pretty good defense over at second base. So, I honestly thought this card would be rated higher, but it came in at 96, and you're going to see a lot of these second basemen that are ranked higher. It's mainly due to their defense and speed, and that's one thing that hurts Cano is his speed. It's not very high. He's never been a super fast guy, but his defense is still good. He gets a good first step, has a good arm. Now his hitting, it's going to be maxed out versus right-handed pitching. I mean, this guy is definitely a platoon player, but most of your at-bats are going to come against right-handed pitching, so this is still one card I would try to go out and obtain. Now, his splits versus lefties are absolutely awful. I mean, they're not good, never have been great, so that is his one downfall. Everything else, though, is pretty solid. So, definitely look forward to this card in MLB 16 The Show. Coming in number 5 on our list is going to be 2011 Flashback Prime Ian Kinsler. Now, I know we saw on the stream that Ian Kinsler was a 99. However, those ratings were not final. But I do not think it's too far-fetched to see Kinsler close to a 99, and I'll explain why. Again, when I was doing these edits for second base, it was really hard to keep some of these guys not to max out. So, I tried to be as fair as possible, but man, some of these guys, they had good defense and speed, and sometimes that's enough to bump them up, especially with just, above average hitting. So let's talk about Ian Kinsler's year in 2011. It definitely was his best year, and that is definitely the year they'll pick for his Flashback Prime. He had a 7.2 WAR. He had 32 home runs, scored 121 runs as a leadoff guy. He had 77 RBIs, and of course this is the year the Rangers went to the World Series. Now something more phenomenal for that year, he had a 12.3% walk rate and only struck out 9.8% of the time, so he had more walks than strikeouts. His average was a little bit low at 255. His on-base, though, was really good at 355, 100 points higher. And slugging, again, was solid at 477. So let's talk about this Kinsler card. Average is not going to be there. Even against contact versus lefties, it's still not going to be a high average. It's going to be in the 50s and 60s. Kind of one player I would compare this to is kind of like the legendary Johnny Bench we had in MLB 15, The Show. Really low contact, but he has enough power versus righties to hit home runs, and he has really good power against lefties. Very good vision, very good discipline, and fielding is really good too. Plus he has speed. Let's not forget he stole 30 bases that year. So I think this is more of an accurate prediction for Ian Kinsler, being that 97 overall range. They might even drop him, but this is what his stats will look like. And as you can see, it's not overly impressive. His contact's not high at all. But hopefully, or we know for sure we'll see this card in MLB 16 The Show. Coming in number 4 on our list is 2007 Flashback Prime Brandon Phillips for the Cincinnati Reds, and he's going to come in at a 98 overall. So in 2007, he had 30 home runs, drove in 94 runners, scored 107 runs himself. 288 average, 331 on base, 485 slugging. Played pretty good defense over there as well. Overall for that year, he had a WAR of 4.4. Now, personally, I do not think Brandon Phillips, I believe he's had some great years, but I would not put him over guys like Cano and Kinsler. This is how the ratings turned out, especially when you look at his splits. Who would you rather have, a guy that's 99-99 versus righties, or a guy that's 95-86 versus lefties? I think it's pretty obvious. I would take Cano over him, but that's just how the algorithms work for these overalls. So, talking about Brandon Phillips, he's an average hitter against right-handed pitching. He can still have a little power like Kinsler. Against lefties, though, similar to Kinsler, actually, he's got a lot better contact versus lefties than Kinsler, but his power versus lefties is amazing too. His vision is not bad. He didn't strike out too much well, he actually struck out a little bit at 15.5%, but his play discipline is awful. He goes up there and hacks. Not to down this card at all, it'd still be a great card. His fielding's really good, and his speed's really good as well. He did steal 32 bases. I was just kind of surprised, honestly, that this card came in at a 98 overall, so I could definitely understand if some of you guys may disagree with this ranking, but we'll definitely see a Brandon Phillips in MLB 16 The Show. Alright, coming in number 3 on our list is going to be Flashback Prime 99 Dustin Pedroia for the Boston Red Sox. So there's 2 years you could look at for Pedroia. You could look at 2008 or 2011. However, I believe he won the MVP in 2008, so I picked that year. So in 2008, overall, he had a 6.3 WAR, which is really good. Played good defense. He had 17 home runs, 83 RBI, scored 118 runs. Walk rate was around 7, same for K rate, so pretty even there. His average, however, was really good at 326, and his on base was really good as well at 376, and he nearly had a 500 slugging, so a really valuable second baseman. And if you look at his attributes here, his contact for righties and lefties are both going to be amazing, above 90. His power versus righties is not going to be bad at 59. He's still going to be able to get home runs. And his power versus lefties, again, not too bad at 74. This is kind of more of a gap-to-gap guy. However, against lefties, he'll still be able to get you home runs consistently. He won't strike out much for you with that good plate vision at 89. Also had good clutch. And his fielding, it was still pretty solid. I know you're looking at 70s and you think that's average. Actually, 70s fielding is pretty good for second base. Once you start putting at 80 and 90, it just gets ridiculous. And I believe Pedroia has always been a pretty good defender over at second base, and I think those ratings are fair. In 2008, he also stole 20 bases, so I gave him 79 speed with 35 stealing because he did get caught a few times. So overall, this card would come in at 99, and I know, again, I don't know if, in my opinion, if this is a 99 worthy card or not, but you have to consider the fact San Diego Studios algorithms puts a heavy impact on, or heavy weight on contact, fielding, and speed for second base. So we already know Dustin Pedroia's rookie card is going to be in the game. That's pretty much confirmed that he's going to have a Flashback Prime card, especially since he was a cover boy at one point. Coming in at number 2 on our list, again, is another 99 overall, and this is going to be the 2009 Flashback Prime Ben Zobrist. Definitely was his best year. He nearly had a 9 WAR, which is MVP status. That's up there with Mike Trout. Now, something about these ratings, I don't know if they're going to just look back at 1 year and just base it off that. They might look back at their best year and then take like a 3-year average of that year. So some of these ratings might be a little higher than expected. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. But this is just what I would rate the player based off that year, so keep that in mind. Anyways, 2009, he had 27 home runs, 91 RBIs, 91 runs scored. He walked 15% of the time, which gave him an on-base of 405, simply amazing. And he also had a batting average of 297, so he still nearly hit 300. Everything else phenomenal about the guy. Played, stellar defense over at second base that year. And let's add in the fact he can play anywhere on the field, and he's a switch hitter. This would be a dirty card, guys. This would be a super dirty card if they put it in the game. Now, I talked with Nick Livingston a little bit on Twitter. I don't think they're going to just look at 1 year and base it off that, so this card might be a little bit lower. However, if he's still a switch hitter with numbers similar to this, attributes similar to this, it's going to be a dirty card. So his power, if you want to look at it, his contact, a little better against lefties, and his power is a little bit better against lefties as well. However, he's still got 78 contact and 78 power versus righties, so it's still pretty dang good. Clutch discipline really good, and fielding really good as well. So I'm pretty sure we'll see a Ben Zobrist. I just don't know which year. I mean, they should definitely pick 2009. I just don't know if it'll be 99. But hopefully we do see him in MLB 16 The Show. Alright, so coming in at number 1 on our list will be the 2008 Prime, our Flashback Prime Chase Utley for the Phillies. Now, we know for sure he's going to be 99. We saw the stream, and something else that makes me think that he'll definitely be 99, although it's already confirmed. Even though the ratings are still a work in progress, you never know. But another reason why I think he's definitely going to be 99 is this guy had like 5 straight years of a 7+ WAR. So you could pick any of those years and do a 3-year average, and he's still going to be a 99. Now, when you look at like Pedroia and Zobrist and Phillips and Kinsler, you can't say the same. They really just had 1 to 2 good years, or they had 1 year, separated by 3 or 4 years in between. Chase Utley was an absolute beast from 2005 to 2009, and he was still productive after that. But I went ahead and picked the 2008 version. He had 33 home runs, 104 RBIs, 113 runs scored. Had a average of 292, 380 on base, 535 slugging. Played spectacular defense over at second base as well. So, taking a look at his attributes, this guy, similar to Cano, he hits righties really well. He bats from the left-handed side. Not as good as Cano, but if you take a look at his splits versus lefties, this is what's going to separate him from Cano. Still pretty solid, coming in at 71 contact and 79 power. And then you look at his defense, it's going to be really good. So he doesn't have good speed, but I know his fielding and overall hitting will keep him up at a 99. So we know this is going to be an MLB 16 The Show. This is definitely going to be one card I'm going to go try out there and get. So this is looking to Chase Utley for MLB 16 The Show.